I feel a bit suspicious of the accuracy of this birth time because being quoted exactly on the half hour means he is a couple of minutes from being in the next sign rising, Libra. But on the other hand, Rudy's 4 Leo planets plus the North Node in the 12th do feel strangely reflective of his late in life turn to the dark side of the 12th house, a constant performance, Leo, but relying on the destructive forces of the 12th house, particularly the willingness to go rogue on the truth and ally yourself with the criminal element. You can see why he gets along with Trump so well. They're both Geminis, and they both have a lot of Leo to work with. A lot of talk in Gemini, together with a lot of showboat performance, Leo, but both men seem disconnected from commonly agreed ethical guidelines. Now, Rudy, after months of careless disregard of health guidelines, often going maskless and hanging way too close to people, has been hospitalized with COVID. For this, we look to the 6th, 8th, and 12th houses as well as their rulers. The 12th house Mars and Pluto are dealing with an ongoing Uranus square, which is still due to peak when Uranus stations in mid-January. Uranus co-rules house 6, so it makes it relevant, but admittedly it sextiles Mars and Pluto at birth, which makes it softer and less likely to hurt. Still, catching a dangerous virus with a relevant transiting planet due to peak almost a month later is never a good thing. I think, though, the key aspect that correlates with this diagnosis is the quincunx, the 150-degree aspect that so often correlates with matters of health or possibly worse. Health, because in a natural zodiac chart with Aries rising, Virgo is the quincunx ahead of the ascendant at 150 degrees, and possibly worse, because the other 150 degrees come from the 8th house, where things can get a lot more complicated up to and including surgical interventions or death. Notice that Pluto is doing a 150 to his 12th house moon, and a 23.24, where it is now, looks quite precise to the 23.49 of the moon, but actually, if we do the precession correction, especially for someone his age, the moon exact transit effects are likely to come at 24.49, which means Pluto, a slow mover, will be in there for quite some time, at least until well into February. This one is quite worrying because you have natal Pluto coming from the 12th, squaring Mercury, which is Lord of the Ascendant, and now challenging another 12th house dweller, the moon. Also, in the early part of this Pluto hit, there's a 135 sesqui square to his Sun-Uranus degrees, which adds aggravation. The Sun, aside from being the main point of vitality for anyone, rules house 12, and Uranus co-rules 6. All of this Pluto action is for sure quite dangerous. Meanwhile, continuing in the quincunx lane, notice that both transiting Saturn and Jupiter are making quincunxes to his natal Saturn and midheaven point. Once again, involving planets that are either ruling health houses or live in them at birth. So this means that until Saturn and Jupiter get at least a little bit into Aquarius, these two big dogs are quite a challenge to his health and making it extra rough until Christmas or New Year's. I don't want to predict death for anyone, but I think this one is pretty serious, and I bet that at minimum he will need some likewise serious recovery time.